came and you paid, surveyed the property you made. Put in an offer you didn't have to say. Higher than made for real. It's been like God in here. Bitch got that grace appeal. They stick with annoying what else am I supposed to feel? Won't you come in, put your feet up, how you waiting here? Let me back up while you do you, I won't interfere. Check my feng shui, I can rearrange, that's a chandelier. Get a show ready where you set it up.
It's your brand, you can take it with it. This girl talking gotta make them feel. I'm something special, I ain't just a vessel. I found your word, was my way to heal. Now I'm outside trying to spread the message. The devil dripping, he been causing wreckage. My testimony went from declining to the upper hand, finally gave me leverage. What I felt was a stretch, it led to agility. You were the balance, I needed stability. All the allure, spirit so pure, but Father, the Son, like the holiest Trinity. Open arms, I receive the blessings. In every lesson, hope to see progression. The more you lead me to community, the more I see a need for intercession. Gotta pray for.
I'll be your temple, I'll be your sanctuary. You can come dwell here. Won't you come and fill me? Jesus, have your way.
Good evening, and welcome back to the Fly Show, where the Fly stands for First Love You. And this is your girl, yours truly, Jazzy D Mills, who is the wonderful host. Thank you so much for everyone that is tuning in with me every single week, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have no idea how much it means to me, how blessed I feel, how grateful I am, how wonderful I am, the journey that I'm on. It is such an amazing and beautiful journey, and I am blessed to be on the journey with each and every one of you. So thank you so much for joining with me every single week. And y'all know, we are in the middle of our dating series, Dating the Flyway, dating with faith, dating with love, and dating you. The first week we talked about what does self-love look like in dating. The second week we talked about Lord, I forgot the second series. Hold on. Healing. Are you healing or are you hiding? Dating while still bleeding. And we have been, y'all, I'm loving the comments. I'm loving the responses that I'm receiving, the feedback on it. I'm glad that we're actually talking about real life stuff, because we can't heal from nothing that we don't face and that we don't deal with and attack head on, right? So this week is no different. This week's episode is talking about loving God, loving me, making space for wholeness while navigating the flags. Because nowadays the flags is a popular thing. You got red flag, green flag, beige, and whatever other kind of color that you got going on. So the two that we're going to be focusing on are red and green. And again, if you are new here, thank you so much for joining here on the Fly Show, where the Fly stands for First Love You. If you are coming back for this episode, welcome back again. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. And of course, we got to bring it full circle with a little scripture. We can't be talking about navigating in love, navigating in dating, navigating in this world without bringing it back to God. So tonight's scripture base is in Matthew 7:16. You will know them by their fruit. The fruits is them flags that we're going to be talking about, right? So red flags, green flags, discernments, and dating. The main theme is to learn how to spot warning signs while valuing healthy traits. Because dating it isn't just about finding someone. It's about making sure that you are aligned with God so that when someone shows up, they're not filling a void that God has already filled. You're not seeking for God in man. Or is that a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing, because you want to see God in man, right? Because if you're not God led, and if you're not God feared, and you're not God filled, what is we doing? That's just my opinion. Okay. But you have to look at, in order to be able to recognize the God in someone, you have to be able to have God within yourself. So first and foremost, you have to focus on your vertical relationship with God. So this right here is you and God. Everybody else is horizontal. When you don't have the vertical relationship with God, right, everything else is a mess. So, first and foremost, you have to, even if you have to set yourself aside, set yourself apart so that you can work on mending and building that relationship with God, this is what you have to do. It goes back into talking about what we talked about last week. Are you healed or are you hiding? Sometimes you have to, well, not sometimes, it's best for you to sit and deal with the things that you've been dealing with, to heal from the things that you've had to face, to attack the traumas and the dramas head on in order for you to heal. But because you can't be out here in this dating world in a relationship bleeding on the person that you're with. That ain't cool and it ain't cute. Okay. So focus on the vertical love that you have with God. Focus on the vertical relationship with God. And when you focus on how to love God, God will show you how to love yourself, which entails how to love your neighbor, because the word says love your neighbor as you love yourself. You have to get to love yourself first before you can. Okay, y'all got it. Apart from God, sometimes we try to make people our source. And let me let you know that is never going to work. It will always suffer. It will never go good. And you ain't going to get nothing from it. Okay. So identifying these red flags out here. Y'all, we have dealt with so much tomfoolery that it don't make no sense. Okay. It doesn't make any sense. Red flag, blue flag, this pill, that pill. There's always an opinion, always a different perspective, always a he say, she say, they say, we say way to do stuff. But we have to learn and have to understand what works for us as individuals, because what may work for my best friend or my sister, it may not work for me. So you have to determine what your flags are. What are your indicators of a deep issue is? What are the things that bother you? Some of the common things that we deal with or we navigate, especially in a relationship or even in friendship, being an individual, is not having a good thing of communication. Some of us, we just don't know how to say how we feel. Some of us, we just don't know how to open our mouths and be honest. I mean, just ask yourself, how many times have you held your tongue because you was afraid if it was going to hurt somebody's feelings or not? How many times have you felt a certain way about something and you didn't say it because you didn't know the reaction of what you were going to receive from the other person that you had the issue with? We sometimes cause ourselves so much pain because we sit in silence. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. I've been in relationships and even with my marriage, I sat sometimes, and even my spouse sat sometimes and was bothered by something, but we didn't communicate to say how we felt. And when you have a lack of communication, that's a lack of honesty. That's a lack of integrity. I can't trust you to be open and honest with me if you don't open your mouth and talk. That causes so many other issues. And it causes not only a lack of communication and a lack of honesty, but it's a lack of inconsistency in words and with your actions. You can say one thing or not say a thing, and your actions don't line up with what you're saying or what you're not saying. Right? We get a cold shoulder. Oh, ladies, we good at a good little cold shoulder now. Let's talk about it. We good at a good cold shoulder. We good at giving a silent treatment. But what good is that doing? Whether they understand how to navigate what you're saying or not, you still need to be vocal about how you feel. Now, you ain't got to be wringing your neck and pointing your fingers and all this kind of junk, but you can get your point across in a eloquent, I hope that's the word. Don't judge me if it ain't. You can get your point across in a ladylike, non-venomous like manner. You don't have to invoke poison in order to get your point across. You don't have to hit below the belt. You don't have to call a person out of their name to make them understand how you feel. You can just say, look, babe, that hurt me. I don't appreciate the way you moving right now. It's making me feel some type of way. And it's up to the person that you're communicating with to take that into consideration, right? But then if that is not taken into consideration, it is up to you to decide if this is something that you're going to be able to tolerate or not. But you have to communicate. In the communication, it takes honesty. And when you're honest, it takes the action of the other person to interpret the words that you just said, to respect you enough to validate your feelings. Simple. Red flag, green flag. You ain't got to be loud. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be evil. You ain't got to burn nobody clothes up. You ain't got to cut the seat out nobody's pants. You ain't got to bust nobody windshield, flatten no tires. That car didn't do nothing to you. Because what is we doing? Ladies, stop it. That's getting old and it's getting played out. You around here busting that man tires or whoever you with, flattening their tires, busting all their windows out their car. And whatever else you out here doing, because you're angry. You have to learn how to deal with that anger and not be violent. We were not created to be violent. You were not created to lash out like that. You were created to use your mouth and communicate. And when you know that what you've communicated is not being respected, it's time to exit stage left, right, middle, front, back, whatever you want to call it, because you don't have to stay in a situation that is not conducive to you being respected. And that goes for man or woman. I'm not just talking about ladies stop disrespecting these men. Men stop disrespecting these ladies. Same thing. It goes across the board. Point blank, period. You don't got to control nobody. You don't got to be jealous of nobody. Just walk away. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Stop trying to take vengeance and violence in your own hands. That ain't your place. It's not your job. Excuse me, because look, I keep sniffing, but this Atlanta weather is ridiculous, okay? So excuse me. But it's not your job. It ain't, it's not up to you to decide the fate of someone. You ain't God. Say, you know what? Okay, I get it. I understand. You don't respect me enough to validate. You don't respect me enough to respect how I feel. So moving forward, we will no longer be in a relationship if you can't respect what I'm saying. Point blank, it's simple. Because all that comes down to not being spiritually aligned. When you move out of alignment, it causes a demonic shift in a lot of things. A lot. I had to learn the hard way on how to communicate and say how things make me feel. I had a conversation with a great friend of mine with learning how to be more vocal with how things make me feel. Again, I don't come up here talking about stuff that I don't have experience in or something that I'm still working through, because we can't be helpers one to another if we don't be real and open, right? We got to learn how to be honest about it. Like call the ace and a spade a spade. Baby girl, this stuff over here ain't no cakewalk. It's not. I had to learn how to be vocal, but how to do it in a subtle and respectful way and not allow my body language to say how I felt, but allow me to verbally speak what I was dealing with. That's how you know you're on the path of understanding your identity, understanding your voice, understanding that you deserve more, that you're worthy, that you are loved, that you are enough. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to be catered to. You deserve to be loved on. And you don't deserve to be disrespected. No matter how you slice it, dice it, fry it, dye it, lay it to the side, no one deserves to be disrespected. Because sometimes we stay in situations praying and hoping that whatever the issue is going to change. When the only thing that you can focus on changing is yourself. The only person that you can focus on getting better is you. So you got to focus on you, right? You got to focus on what it is that you want, what it is that you don't want. Can't nobody navigate that but you. And then transitioning over to the good side of it all. Knowing how to define having the evidence of healthy traits. Sometimes you just got to ask yourself, am I too busy looking for love that I don't know how to make space for God? You have to make space for the man that created love, for the man that created you, for the man that created the person that's for you. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Get to know the words that God has spoken over your life. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. How do we navigate that? God, help me understand what that means. Help me remove my fear. Help me remove my doubts. Help me remove my limited beliefs about myself. Help me remove me thinking that I'm not enough. Help me remove the feeling of being settled for and not a first choice. Help me understand that I am a priority and I got to prioritize myself, right? Sometimes you got to sit aside and have quiet time every single day. I don't care if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever your capacity is. Sit some time aside to really hear what God has for you. You have to. Pray about your desires instead of just scrolling social media, scrolling dating apps. Oh my God, this person looks so good. Oh my God. Pray about what you desire. Pray about what your heart is speaking. Pray about what it is that you want in your life. And be realistic. Yeah, I know people be like, girl, I want me a 6 foot, dark skin, bald head, beard, 6 figures, good credit, a house on the hill. What you looking like? What are you doing to obtain everything that you just prayed that God have in a man? 36, 24, 36, flat stomach, big booty, no children, can cook, clean, take care of the house, and give it to me when I want it. What you looking like? You credit right? You got a savings account? Do you have a bank account? How do you balance your finances? Are you clean? Or do you just throw yourself in the closet? These are questions that you got to ask yourself. Because you have to prepare for what you're praying for. Last season, I had a show titled, Are You Ready for the Answers to Your Prayers? Do you really want your prayers to be answered? You get your answered prayers when you start moving and living your life like the answers you want your prayers to be. Don't let that fly over your head. When you start to look like what you're praying to God for, when you start to look like what you're seeking for, when you start to look like your desire, it makes it real easy for you to recognize it. It makes it real easy for you to be open enough to receive it, because now you've been in the space of that for so long that you welcome that same reciprocated love, because you've given it to yourself, and now you have someone that is willing to do everything that you prayed for. But you have to become what you're seeking for, and know that God comes first. And when God comes first, the love flows a whole lot better. You have to give clear and kind communication. You have to be accountable. You have to have integrity. Be emotionally mature. Don't avoid conflict. You have to have shared values, vision, desires, ambitions, goals, and be working towards the things that you want. Encourage your growth in God and in yourself. How can two walk together unless they agree? Amos 3:3. How can two walk together unless they agree? It's one thing to pray for it, but it's another one to live it. So, just a few quick scenarios. With a red flag, green flag. And you ain't even got, if you want to put the answers in the chat, put the answers in the chat. Red flag, green flag. When they say they love God, but they never pray for you, or they never pray for themselves. Red flag, green flag. Red flag, green flag. They say they love God, but you never see them pray, and you never hear them pray for you. Secondly, they communicate their needs clearly and they listen to yours. Red flag, green flag. They communicate their needs clearly and effectively, and they also listen to yours. Red or green? They only call you past 11 o'clock, late at night. And it ain't because they just got off work, but they only call you late at night. Red flag, green flag. Red flag, green flag. Let me ask you some self-examining red flag, green flag questions or scenarios. You say no to people that don't align with your purpose. Is that a red flag or a green flag? You're okay with waiting for the right love. Red flag, green flag. You live in joy even though love with a partner has not arrived yet. Red flag, green flag. You live in joy even though love has not arrived. One thing I need you to understand is don't ignore the red flags, because the person looks like a blessing. Because when you get your vertical relationship right with God, even though the scenario may look like the person is a blessing, they may look like the one, your discernment will be so high that God will either confirm or deny based on the red flags that you see. I trust that God revealed truth in all relationships, that you understand that you are worthy of healthy love, that you remain rooted in God's love, and that your wholeness flows directly from Him and not because you are being chosen by another person. God, we invite you into our lives on tonight. Teach us to make you our first love so that we can love from a place of wholeness and not from a place of brokenness. And we'll be able to recognize the good from the bad and have the discerning ability to decide what we want to walk away from and what you want us to stay in, to know what is for us and what is not for us, and have a sense of peace within our hearts to understand the difference. Amen. All right, y'all. Listen, this is a good series now. I hope you all are tuning in with me here every single Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we're going to be talking about the standards versus the walls. We are in our dating series, Dating the Flyway, Dating in Faith, Dating with Love, and Dating You. Make sure you tune back in right here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember to first love you because you absolutely deserve it. Good night.
I'll be your temple. I'll be your sanctuary. You can come dwell here. Won't you come through? Jesus, have your way. Jesus, have your way. Jada, I got it made. You never delay. You came and you paid, so